Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 hour to make the best game ever. Okay, so let's see what's new. Let's see what's new. This one was a spam. What is this here? Huh? Okay. I don't know why there's comments being added to commits. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so this one was merged. That's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is being worked on. Close. What is this? How? Okay, I don't know what this error was about. Okay, so there's one change we should do. And that is, let me stash this guy. Let me delete this guy. And this guy. And this. And this. Go to main branch. Okay. Pull rebase. Okay. So, so there's a tool, compress and CSC diff. And in generals, we also have compress and CSC diff. Yeah, okay. So what we do is, so the simplest change here to decouple CSC diff from compress is have a define a debug log and then printf x, and then we can remove all this and this, right? We add it here to do the swaggas add to do streamline debug streamline logging for tools, logging approach for tools, streamline the logging approach for tools. Streamline and simplify the logging approach for tools. Okay, and then we can go to Z-compress here. And here we do the same. There we go. Okay, there we go. Printf will work correctly, yes. I'm about to open Okay. What else is new? Check using a hash set in generals. I do not think this needs immediate attention. Something we can further investigate. Wait, there's a difference between. I think for now would be good to check which implementation should win, generals or 0 hour. As for going further than that, we can do later. I think for now we just need to decide which implementation should win, generals or 0 hour. Okay, so has this compiled or can't see? Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so this should work. Then we add a new branch. Decouple compress CRC diff. Decouple compress from CRC diff. run this guy. Then we push it. All right. Push. Good. This change decouples compress from CSC diff. Decouples the compress tour from CSC diff. It does so by getting rid of the debug.h header includes. This means it loses the what was it? Debug output. It loses the output debug string call in debug. Be of no major concern. The logging of tools may need another pass entirely. The logging inside. Minor. Factor. Chance 0. Gen ZH. CSC diff. I created change for least for simple decoupling. Okay, good. Then we got this guy. Good. So Maula says that he thinks the hash map implementation is better. Oh, let me see. Drawable hash. Was it this one? Huh? Ah, object hash. Why did they? Okay, so in general they use the hash map, and in 0 hour they put a vector. Interesting. Interesting. Object ID. Yeah. Object vector. Well, it's because the object PTR vector is faster, right? Yeah, it is faster. Interesting. So this RTS hash, what does it do? It uses std hash. I am inclined to agree that the pointer hash is probably the more logical implementation. Yeah. I mean, this should be pretty fast. I mean, if the objects count were not growing, yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be a hash map, yeah. It will be less efficient, but is that a big problem? The thing is that the vector will grow the longer the game runs. Let's say, like realistically, how many objects could there be? I mean, that could be a lot, right? So let's say we have. Let's say we have 128,000 objects spawned. Then let's count on 60. 64-bit. So we have 8-byte pointer times 8. So it would be 1 megabyte already. 1028, 1 megabyte. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so game logic. Is there any documentation as to why they changed this? Let me see. Add object to lookup table. Add object to lookup table. New ID. Remove. Set the hash to be rather large. We need to optimize this value later. Well, and this is not even large. I'm also inclined to say that we use generals object hash as opposed to 0 hours object vector, while the object vector will be more efficient for lookups. It does not scale well. The more objects are spawned and the longer a match runs. It does not will be more CPU efficient for lookups. It will be less memory efficient when more objects are spawned and when, let's say, when matches run longer and more objects are spawned. I'm also inclined to say that we use generals game logic object hash as opposed to 0 hours game logic, while the object will be, my expectation, marginally more CPU efficient for lookups. It will be less memory efficient when matches run longer and more objects are spawned. I suspect that we'll incur more cache hit misses than object vector, and that will be the performance drawback. Say memory space will be more memory speed efficient. Well, I mean, memory, that's confusing. Let's say CPU efficient, because essentially memory will bottleneck CPU. I'm also inclined to say that we use a general game logic object hash as opposed to 0 hours object vector, while an object will be marginally more CPU efficient for lookups. It will be less memory space efficient when matches run longer and more objects are spawned. To give example, number example, let's say match runs 1 hour and 128,000 objects are spawned. Or spawned and killed and destroyed. Then on 64 bits, the game object vector will consume at least one megabyte. So we can just say MB. But that's probably all right. Because it uses a list-like structure underneath. It's probably acceptable. Okay. Oh, oops. Compress here. Does it? Oh, it does, yeah. Right. G compress. Yep. There we go. Remove debug cpp CMake. There we go. Fixed. Probably mostly for preservation purposes. Good. We got that. Okay. Good. Thompson's. I suspect 0-hour devs were super desperate for performance gains. Good. What's the next step? Okay. This guy. Here. Decoupling move to that. Okay, let me take Filivius. Dedupe compress. And dedupe compress. To extras. Configure. to have them in sync. I can solve the merge conflict for you. I was about to look into base type core and draft the proposal on your branch. Dedupe compress. Why not like because renaming the includes to is technically correct. That way I always know that it's a stripped down version. If the end goal is to have just one base type .h, in principle, I agree with you, but I would like to have clean moves with no edits to them. Just file A from location to a new location. let me see. How many base type.h are in there? Lib base type. So there are 347. If there were, there are, let me actually look into Visual Studio Code. Three, 4, 8. String search for the base type shows 3, 4, 6 files with that. How about rename to core after moving them all if we feel strongly about it. During the move, there's no need to rename. Okay, so. Oh boy. Good. So this one has been approved. We remove this. Let me see, how does this look? This is not possible because, well, rename after the move. Not before. Can we agree on that? Basically, I would like to have clean moves without edits. That's all. If you can make includes lib base type core.h without editing during move, then fine. But if not, then use adapter. The thing is, it's not a move. It's a move and an edit, right? If you just move things like this, then this is perfectly fine. But as soon as he has to edit it, it's not a proper move anymore, right? And that's the only issue. Like, it's avoidable, then let's avoid it and just move files, because it's supposed to be a move. It's not supposed to be a move and an edit, right? Because then, like, if there's no edit in the move, then there's a guarantee that is absolutely clean move, right? And it's easy to see. Like right now here, when you see this, then you see, oh, this function, this file was touched. Let's look at it. Oh, okay, doesn't look too harmful, right? But you have to actually check it, right? So you have to check like every file. Okay, was it actually okay, this move, right? Yeah. Let me ask ChatGPT about this. With Git, is there any benefit of decoupling moves from edits? Decoupling file moves from small file edits. There can be a benefit to decoupling, especially in terms of maintaining history, clarity, and avoiding merge rebase confusion. Git doesn't track renames explicitly. Instead, it infers them based on similarity between files. If you move and edit a file in the same commit, Git might not detect the rename, especially if the edits are significant relative to the file size. By doing a move in one commit and then editing in a separate commit, you ensure Git can clearly see this file was moved, renamed, this file was edited later. This helps with Git log follow, track renames more accurately when looking at file history. Git blame shows proper origin of lines, provides a more intuitive Git view, easier conflict resolution. If you move a file and edit in the same commit and someone else also edited the original file in a branch, Git may struggle to auto-resolve during merges or rebases. Separating the operations gives Git a clearer idea of what happened and can simplify conflict resolution. Cleaner history. Your commit history is easier to follow when each commit represents one time of change. Reviewers or your future self can clearly see one commit, move file from A to B, next commit, made functional change X. If you're just doing very small changes in a low traffic repo, you're not concerned about long-term history, clarity, combining moves and edits in a single commit is perfectly fine. I asked ChatGPT and he said, GPT. GPT. What a joker. What a joker. Good. Then let's see if Philivia takes care of this. Otherwise, I can do this as well. Good. Let's get back to this guy here. Let me do a stash pop. Okay, so we want to fix up the logging stuff. Oh, cannot open source file. Huh? I don't know why there's this error here suddenly. That's weird. GPT is a good friend. It's a good friend of mine. Okay, so still going despite the compile error. Oh, that's great. I think we should cancel the builds, and I think we should stash, and then we should go to main branch. We should pull rebase, and then we should rebase on this guy, and then we should stash pop, and then try again. So, did this compile or not? Error, huh? What? Oh, that succeeded. Okay. Good. So, what we want to do is we go to CMake. Maybe ask it OmniBlade for opinion on move plus edit files. Do it or avoid it if avoidable. Okay, so let's go into our config CMake. I have the impression we should split up this file a bit. So we have a build. Build config. Memory config. Let's say config minus build. Config minus memory. And then we add a new one, config minus debug. Debug. Well, it's debug. Okay, I would say the first we do here include. How is this included? Include config build.cmake memory and debug. Yeah, let's not do it yet. Okay. Okay, so then we take this guy. You take this guy and we put it here and there. And then then we move this guy in here. Okay. Then we take the memory guys and we move the memory guys in here. Yeah, I think that makes it a bit cleaner. Let's see if that still builds. Let's see. File renamed without changes. Okay. This edit can be reverted. This can be avoided. This will not be necessary. This order dependency will not be necessary if the course base type .h is put into a different folder as per my recommendation. A different folder, adapter elip base type .h. Yeah, he's not really doing what I say. He's just trying his own things, and there's something wrong. Like now we have this order dependency. That's not good. Just put it in a different folder, and then it's all. Then we don't need this here. This file is edited on move. This edit should be reverted. Yeah. Here remove now the game title. I don't know why he had to remove the game title from it. That makes no sense. But okay, whatever. Good. So we have fails here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Huh. Okay, why? Huh, okay. CMake error. Could not find requested file. config-build.cmake. Huh? config-build. It's here. Huh? Maybe the minus symbol is not legal. Maybe it has to be in quotes. Nope. Huh. Config minus build.cmake. CMake current folder. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't see this file because the work directory is not this one. That could be. Maybe we have to use this guy here. Oof. Oof. Maybe. That works. Okay. Okay, so the first change you make is split these guys. Split. Split build and memory CMake options into separate files. Let's say split CMake options for build and memory into separate files. Okay. Okay, and then good. And next step, we will add here, we will add the config debug CMake. And in here we put RTS debug. Let's go to debug.h. Here. Okay, so what we need is debug logging, debug logging, debug crashing. Let's just copy the guys here. Debug stack trace, debug profile. Okay. Okay, so enables debug logging. Enables debug crashing. Enables debug stack tracing. Enables debug profiling. Okay. And I think what we need is, can we, hold on, CMake option tree state. Dependent option. Tree state, three states. It's a CMake string option. Let me ask in CMake, how can we create a CMake option with 3 states instead of just on and off? I would like to have default on off. Three states. Let's see. My feature default cache string. Enable my feature default on or off. Set property. Oof. Property strings default on off. So it must be a property. Okay, so we would say RTS debug logging default cache string enables debug logging. Let me remove these options here. Set property cache property strings default on off. Okay, let's see if that shows. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I think that this will error here. Let me remove that. Yeah. Yes, that is fine. Only core with see it can be part of core always. Let me see. Is that a problem? The base type. Include lib. Huh? Libraries include. There we go. Core E libraries include. Yes, just re-add that empty line, and then the diff should be clean. Like basically, don't remove like empty lines if not necessary. Then there won't be a diff, right? So I don't know why he removed it here. It's not necessary. Let me abandon the review. Yes. I did not check, but hopefully there is a let me see. I would imagine that like do we have so we have Z always, right? No, we don't. Core always? No. ZI always. Aha. Core I always. Yes, I think that can be put into core I always, which is only hold on. Core I includes libraries include libraries. Yes, I think I can create a this can be done via a libraries adapter. And then link that privately. link that privately into a core I always. Always. Interface private. The interface. Into a I think there is a problem with my proposed what if a actually let's include what if a generals or generals MD file includes a core header that includes then it will not include the correct file, right? If that is the case, then your core proposal is the better way. Okay. Good. So debug logging. Okay. So we have options now. Default on off. Okay, that works very well. Okay, cool. Then let's add the other options as well. Debug crashing. Debug crashing. Okay. Yes, I'm just thinking that it will include different headers depending where it is included. It will probably work, but it's not clean. I'm no longer opposed to renaming to base type core as you had initially suggested. Good. So we have these options, and then we will what do we do? Yeah, then we add these guys here. Debug logging, built with debug logging. Built with debug crashing, stack tracing, profiling. Okay. And then next we do good. So we need to okay, so we need to basically do the same stuff as we did here. So we have three states. Okay, core config. Hold on. I think I made a mistake here. I think this add library thingy should probably be added outside here, right? Okay, and so we say so we say if it equals default, then we just do nothing, right? Yeah, then it just uses default. Okay. Let me just add a comment here. Does nothing. Then we say else if if RTS str equal on, and then else off. Let's say else if off. And then we do another else and then end if, and here we should have a CMake error, CMake print error. Message status message. I think it's just message error. Message error? No. How do we error? Message. What's the keyword for error? Here. Ah, fatal error. There we go. Continue processing, but skip generation. Okay, fatal error. Unhandled option. Okay, then we say here if it's equal on, then we say let's go here. So we need to say set allow debug utils. Allow debug utils. So yeah, set allow debug utils off. Let me say here if then type compile definition. Let me say and if. Okay. Okay, so here, if it's turned on, then we say debug logging 1, and then here we say debug crashing, debug logging. Oh, hold on. We say disable debug logging 1. I think this works. And then we would do the same for the other guys. So here we have debug crashing. Then we put the crashing here. Then we put another one here. Stack trace. There we go. All right. Could also create a macro for this, right? CMake set variable, local variable. Set. So here we would say set this to on. Put it up here. Good. And then we can, maybe we can create a macro for this. Let me think. Yeah, we could, and we would have to give it this argument, this argument, this argument. Yeah, let me see. So we do macro. Also macro syntax. Oh boy. CMake macro syntax. Macro foo. How do we give it the arguments? Here. Okay, so macro, so the name is logging logging option, and then debug option. Let's say define debug option, option name, option enabled, option enabled name, and option disabled name. Or option enabled compile def. Okay, so here we would say end macro, and then we would take this guy, yeah, so we would indent that, and then we take option name, there we go, and then we take this guy, that, and that, and that, okay, and then here we say define debug option, and there we take this guy, this guy, this guy, and then we make more copies. Then we take debug crashing, stack trace, and profile. And then we take this guy and we say debug crashing. There we go. There we go. Are these names correct? Yeah. Okay. I hope that this guy carries over. I hope that this guy carries out of here, out of the macro scope. I don't know that. Let me put a message. It's just for testing, fatal error. This should be basically turned on. This should hit when we enable one of these options. Okay, let's move it up there. Yeah. Okay, maybe this works. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay, so remove all this. Okay. Okay, looks pretty clean to the eye at least. Let's see what the CMake says. Aha, error. What's the error? Unhandled option. Oh. Oh. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that is unexpected. That is unexpected, yeah. Hmm. You can do it like this, yeah. Okay, why is this failing? Unhandled option. Well, it's probably the first one, right? Oh, maybe there should be a comma here. Maybe the comma is misplaced here. Oh, it still fails. Okay. Let me put messages here. Status. So my expectation is that this guy. My expectation is that it was right here on the first on debug logging. Yeah, it does. Okay. So we cannot pass this guy down, or? I think we have to use this one, right? This one. Is that right? Might be. And we have to use the same here as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's try that. It got one further. RTS debug crashing. Huh. Why is it failing? It fails at stack trace. Why? Debug stack trace. So everything is set to default. Why does it fail at stack trace? RTS debug stack trace. Huh? Huh? RTS debug logging. Make it a bit larger. Unhandled option. Why is this unhandled? It should be one of these guys, default on or off. It's clearly all default. Huh? Huh. Can we, how about we do, how about we put the message in here? We do that. Remove these statuses here. Aha, there's a comma. Oh. 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 So we're not supposed to give commas here as well. Oh. I see. Interesting. Interesting. There we go. Okay, that has succeeded. Now, if we enable one of these options, we should get an error now for this guy here, right? Let's see. Yeah, we do. Okay, that's good. So this one is hitting as soon as we enable one of these options. Yeah, and if we set it to off, then what should happen if we set it to off? Hold on. Yeah, so if we force enable one of these guys, we also need to enable this guy. Yeah. If we force enable one of these, if we force disable one of these, then we don't need to do anything special, right? We don't need to force disable this guy. No. Oh. Enables debug stack tracing inherently also enables debug logging. Inherently also enables debug logging. This inherently also enables debug logging. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me disable. Let me disable generals. look at this once more. So the logging, the question is, do we need to do anything here with this guy? Disable allow debug utils. I don't think so. Don't need this guy. Enable debug logging. Well, we could say allow debug utils. It makes me wonder, why is there this guard here? Like, why is this here needed in the first place to enable the 4 other things? Why can't they just stand on their own? Why do we need this here? Now, it doesn't mean I want to change it, but like fundamentally, we need to. If we enable this option, then I mean, this on its own, it doesn't do much, right? Yeah, I mean, there's some things here, but nothing groundbreaking. No, I don't think it makes sense to control this on its own. But I do wonder, maybe we should add some conditions here where we say, if debug logging or this or this or this is enabled, then this one is also enabled. Okay, so what I'm thinking we should do is, if not defined that, and not define that, and defined debug logging or crashing, stack trace, or profile. If one of these is enabled, can we put these on 2 lines? Let's do can we maybe put this here and oh, debug crashing. Then it would define do we need allow debug utils for these guys? Why do we need this guy? Why can't it be combined with the others? It's pretty much the gate. This is like the gateway in, right? How about we say here, how about we say here, else if defined this or that or that or that, and then we also turn it on. Let me say here also turn super hackers at tweak. Also turn on when any of the above options is set. Is already set. I think that makes sense. Yeah, then we can delete this here again. Yeah, so this makes sure that when one of these guys is set, then allow debug utils is also set. Yeah. And that should then unlock the debug flags. Yeah. Yeah, and then we say, then this means that we can remove this stuff and this stuff and this stuff, right? There we go. Then we can also remove this one here. Yeah. Okay. I think this makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then we should be able to compile this guy. Actually, hold on. I would first like to configure. Okay, let's start with default first. Okay. Okay, let's build that guy. Then we set all the options to on and then all the options to off. Let's close here some of the thingies here. Notification. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. So this edits generals, asset status, asset status. Fair enough. Okay, while we review, let's set all these guys to on. Compilation did succeed with default, so that's good. On, configure. How about we test it in... How about we test it off first and debug? Yeah, we turn all off, configure. Okay. So all these guys are now disabled, right? So this one is 1, 1. This one is 1. Yeah. Okay, let's build this. Oh, oops. Okay. Okay. All right. What? Pass a geometry onto surrender? What? What is surrender? It's like a code name for some renderer. Surrender. Yeah, maybe that was the name of a renderer backend. Surrender. Yeah. Okay. Sort. Okay, triangle. What is the sort thingy? Where's sort from? Okay, there's a bool sort. Oh, I thought that this is a function declaration, but it's still the same function here. I see. Okay, so the sort is from up here. That is fine. Okay, looks safe to me. So this is unify generals minor. Yeah. Backport ring object as a status from 0 hour. WW3D2 backport W3D what W. Okay. Then proof looks safe. Okay. Good. So did this compile? Yes, it did. And so now these guys, debug logging and so on, it should be all disabled, right? Let's see. Question is, will our IntelliSense pick this up or not? It's still deciding, I think. Okay. Looks like Thompson's is on a roll here. By the way, here his inconsistencies. Perhaps generals and 0 hour can be split in this change. Well, he said it as draft. I don't know. Let him decide what to do with it. Oof, 60 changed files. Okay, how about we put an error here? Error. So this error should not hit. Okay. And good, then our next test, let's disable option debug. And do configure. And so now we enable these guys in release. See if that compiles. So everything on, configure. Generate. There we go. Go to release. Okay, and now everything should be forcefully turned on. Yeah, so it should enter this path here. Yeah, there we go. Then it enables this, and so all the debug utils should be in then. And it should compile if there are no errors. Okay, this one has failed here. Let me see. Well, how about we let him fix the compile error first? What's the time? 3 hours already. Oof. 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 What? "40 pending changes." I think Adriana is mostly tinkering about functionality, not unifying functionality, but fixing, adding. I don't know if Adriana can do it. Requires a lot of knowledge. Okay, so we do have compile errors. That's interesting. Okay. Interesting. Oh. Okay. Huh. For debug only. Uh-huh. Okay, so there are also errors here. Oops. Yeah. So this has to be that. Okay. There should be a simple fix. Error level int level. Okay. So debug log. Huh. Compression manager. Let's look at something else first. crash. Core block start. That should be set to crashing. Where's it? Here, this guy. There we go. If def debug crashing. There we go. By the way, the one thing we just touched. Yeah, okay, that's correct. After foundation is built up, it take a while longer. Your work is not running away. Good. Then. So. Next. Debug stack trace. It's not a member. Debug ignore stack trace. It's a bit more tricky, this guy. Oof. Pass ignore stack trace. Looks like this needs a bit more attention there. How about we take a break here? It has been 3 hours, more than 3 hours. Yeah. Let's take a break. Continue next session. Yeah. All right. Good. Then, and we also have the review from Thompson's. There's always enough work. Yeah. All right, then have a great day or night. Until next time, goodbye.